All right. What's up, boys and girls? Check it out. CheFPV here, Zero Ground FPV. More importantly, LD power, baby, for racing. Brr, brr, brr. So, check it out. LD power, thank you. Me and 32 Bits of Gil, our other teammate over at Zero Ground FPV, who's making a name for himself these days, are looking for the motor, like the best motor for us, for what we want to fly, how we want to fly, and basically having the power and efficiency that Gil needs for running some really aggressive props at really high speeds, really heavy throttles, and not killing batteries, and getting the full flight time out of batteries that he needs, 2 to 3 minutes depending on race. And for me, more of really just being, again, efficient and just having just a great motor for all-around feel, whether it be freestyle or racing. I still have not found like my ideal motor for that setup. I have come across a few motors that are very interesting and non-traditional, one would say. The Pyrodrone 2150 2207s and the LD Power 2200 2206, which was the first LD Power that I had. Those motors are amazing. I love the torque and the power behind the oversized stator. The lower KV obviously could use a little bump in order to get a little more top-end speed. But the power and the raw acceleration through turns and cornering and heavy maneuvering of those larger stator motors are, for me, a huge key. And the LD Power 2206 2200s, I've kept up with 2300 motors all day long and passed them. So there's something to be said. And I really have started looking at different stator sizes and different KV combinations in lowering the KV but upping the size of the stator, getting a higher torque. So when LD Power released these newer motors, these are the 2305. Oops, sorry. There we are. 2305, 2300. Jeez, come on, man. There we go. 2305, 2300 LD Power. So when they released these, I instantly thought this might be the motor. I'm trying to get a spec'd out motor already built that's in the 2305 or 2306 range with a 2400 kV, 2450 kV setup. So seeing this was very interesting. So these should be faster than my 2206, 2200s, but they should be decently in the same amount of torque, if not more. So I'm just very, very excited about these. So with no further ado, here they are. Bam! Look at that. Oh, you gotta love LD Power's blue. Nobody else's blue on the market comes close to theirs. I don't care. Those ZMX blue does not pop the same way that this does. So LD Power, there we go. Let's take a look. Bam. Packaging, always pretty nice with them. They like to comfort these guys with some foam. You will notice 2 with black and 2 with stainless shafts. And that's my personal preference, where I actually kind of lose it is I go, I wish I had 4 of these and not 2 and 2, because I don't like clockwise motors with counterclockwise prop nuts. I like all counterclockwise motors with all clockwise nuts. Basically your standard nut. That's just me. Gil, on the other hand, loves the idea of this because he's tired of hitting concrete or gates with a prop and backing one off. I personally would say that the texture, once again, on this motor, like some of the other motors, right there at the shaft where the prop actually sits, dang it, you can kind of see it, right? There it goes. That would actually help in backing these props off when you hit something. I would like to see a little more of an aggressive texture there, maybe some larger, deeper ridges and less of them. But other than that, I mean, that should definitely help. And the cool thing about also, I guess, having multiple direction motors is, these cool swirls that they have, they are opposite, which, hey, that's a huge detail plus. You'll see, so when you have them in their positions, they actually, are symmetrical in the way that the design of the bell is. So, I mean, that's super cool, and it's going to make it look awesome. They do have PDB connections or PCB connections instead of straight wires. I will say I've had these on DYSs. I've never had an issue with them. I've never snapped them. Rebel Motors obviously kind of came out with this too, one of the first ones. Though those motors are really non-existent these days, it seems. And look at the other details. Look at how they left the edges of these kind of spines brushed. I thought that was in raw. That was really a cool design. It just makes the overall motor just pop. It's just a amazing looking motor. The magnets, they look to be arch. I'd have to confirm. They don't look like they're the newer arc magnets. They do look to have a slight arc, but I could be wrong about that. If they don't, that's something else that I'd say them and T-Motor both need to step up with some arching magnets or arc magnets, whatever they're called. Other than that, I mean, just standard. I mean, it feels great. Oh, check out the hollow shaft clip on the bottom. That clip is huge, and it's beefy and easy to pop off, it looks like. So that's a huge upgrade that a lot of motors need to switch to, is those little C-clips on the back and the bottom are so hard to take off without ruining them and without ruining the motor. But that one just looks like it's much easier and a much more solid one. So there we go. The motor itself. Inside the packaging, you'll have your little screw kit. Inside here, they give you wires, which I will say that this is interesting because you're not going to use a lot of wire typically from your motor to your ESC. But I would say, like I did with the T-Motor stuff, DYS with their PCB mounting actually provide a long length of cable or wire per motor. And I again would stress that longer is better, because if I want longer, then all these wires are a waste for me. So as cool as it is to have pre-cut, pre-tinned wires, the chances that I'm going to use this exact size wire, slim to none. So LD powered, save yourself some time and labor. 3 strands of wire, I would say about 6 inches long, wrapped up, twist tied together, throw them in there, 1 per motor, and there you go. All of these screws and nuts, they did provide 4 of each nut, which is pretty cool and good, but then they only gave us 16 screws in one size. And these screws are tiny. These screws look to be, I mean, I'm going to have to bust out a caliper because I really want to know. These look like 4mm screws. No, they're 5. So they did give us an odd number, which is good. The problem is 5mm screws are only good for 3mm bottom plates. So if I have a 4mm bottom plate, I'm probably going to strip the base of these, just trying to get these to even thread if I'm an inexperienced user. You got to provide screws for 4 and 4.5, 5mm frames. So for me, I think the smallest screw you guys should have included is a 6mm screw. And you should have included also a 7mm screw if you could, if you were going to go with an odd one. I don't see a reason why a 5mm screw would ever be needed. You definitely have at least 2mm of space between the base and the coils. Yeah, you got 2.5mm between for the base, and much more between that and the coils. So I just think that this screw size is just wrong. Not to knock anything else. The motors, again, I'm sure are awesome considering my previous experience. Packaging, great. They look great. They feel great. Wires and screws, let's get that a little bit better so we don't have a lot of inexperienced people ruining motors. So anyways, can't wait to get these flying on something. I don't know what I'm going to put it on. I might switch these bad boys out to the Saturn that has the LD2206s on it, but we'll take a look. Hey guys, back here with the LD Power Motors. I'm so sorry guys, I totally forgot something super important. This comes with the motors, and it's in the packaging. One thing I forgot to point out as far as features, which I actually think is awesome. Notice the nut style prop adapter base that's textured that we talked about earlier. Well, this wrench holds that. So when you're screwing your prop on, you could hold the motor bell from moving, and you could actually tighten your props 100%. It also has a prop nut on the other side for the prop nut driver. The problem with that is I can't do both with one tool, but I could definitely hold this one and use another driver. So I guess maybe they should split this into two tools. Maybe like this handle and then do it again with the handle this way, or provide two of them. I don't know. But it's definitely a step in the right direction as far as designing the motor with the bell that has that lock nut built on, and then also providing the wrench to do it. That's pretty darn cool. So really, really great job with that, DYS. Thank you. Sorry I left that out. Fly safe, fly smart. Hey guys, just fly. Fly some LD power. Peace.